Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Did you know that the Jamaica Forage Clubs is integral to the training and development of young farmers? And not only that, but these training initiatives also pave the way for entrepreneurial opportunities in the agriculture sector.
Once we recognize that the aptitude is there for business, for commerce, we assist them with the venture inputs to start their own business opportunity.
More details coming up in today's show. And with the Senate now debating the National Identification and Registration Bill, we share a few facts with you. So keep watching. The details on these and so much more are all inside our Thursday package.
When criminals disagree, they seek revenge. Murder, arson, rape, whatever causes terrible suffering. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. Women, children, and the elderly, they are the main targets. Don't support the criminals. Don't cover up for them. Don't take their money. Take a stand now for the right of our women and children to be free from fear and abuse. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Thursday, November 9. The Ministry of Health has officially launched its Adopt a Clinic initiative to assist with the upkeep and equipment needs of primary healthcare facilities. It was launched at the St. Jago Health Center on Tuesday. Under the project, the ministry has packaged information on the resource needs of 100 health centers it hopes to have adopted by companies, organizations, or individuals locally and in the diaspora.
I am happy to announce that so far we have had 50 expressions of interest in 50 such facilities.
Among the entities already on board is Victoria Mutual Building Society, which has agreed to adopt 15 facilities across the country. Dr. Tufton is encouraging more Jamaicans to support the initiative. In highlighting the need for such a program, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Winston Delahaye says that of 1.5 million visits to healthcare facilities in 2016, 50% were seen at health centers. The target is to attract at least 75%. Transport and Mining Minister Mike Henry has announced that LNG and clean fuel will replace coal as the planned energy source at Gisco Alpart's expanded operations in St. Elizabeth.
And I say that against the background that basically for those who are concerned about climate change and the environment, I think I can advise you today that the Chinese have not asked me anything and have agreed that we'll not have coal in Jamaica.
Minister Henry was speaking recently at the International Project Management Day Breakfast and Project Management Organization of the Year Awards. He reiterated that the Alpart expansion had the capacity to create about 10,000 additional jobs from work to sustain construction and maintenance of a new refinery, a new power plant, and expanded port facilities.
All of which is realizable to be in the ground and is actually in the ground as we speak, with the likely export of alumina after 10 years from Alpart by the end of November.
Parliament is expected to receive the Cockpit Country Boundary Definition Report in 2 weeks' time. Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave the commitment in Parliament Tuesday. He said a special session of Cabinet was held on Monday to finalize the boundaries.
We are hoping that we will be able to bring to this Parliament, not next sitting, but the following sitting, the final boundaries as settled by the Cabinet of Jamaica and hopefully will be settled here in the Parliament as well.
Last week, the Office of the Prime Minister said Cabinet had set a revised timeline to respond to a petition from an environmental group asking government to legally establish the boundaries. The Cockpit Country petition on the Jamaica House petition portal garnered over 15,000 signatures in September. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called for a parliamentary debate on banning corporal punishment in homes, schools and communities. While declaring that he's totally against corporal punishment, Mr. Holness reiterated government's commitment to ending the practice in the society.
I think it would be a forward-leaning step in making a stance against violence generally, and it would send a powerful message about the state respecting the inviolability of the person, whether or not that person is a child or an adult.
Mr. Holness was delivering government's position on the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs in Parliament Tuesday. The 17 SDGs replaced the Millennium Development Goals and emphasized a holistic approach to achieving sustainable development by tackling, among other things, poverty and hunger and preventing deadly diseases. During his presentation, Mr. Holness highlighted the findings of a UNICEF report which revealed that 8 in 10 Jamaican children between the ages of 2 and 14 years old experience violence as a form of discipline. The report also showed that based on police statistics between January and October of this year, 47 children have been killed by violent means, more than the corresponding figure in 2016.
With such a report, with our commitments to the SDGs, I don't see how we can maintain this aspect of our culture and claim that we want to advance as a modern civilized society. The two things are incoherent and inconsistent.
And finally, the Jamaica 4-H Clubs has embarked on a 3-year entrepreneurship training program. It's part of a move to reposition the organization as an entity geared at empowering youth for meaningful employment. Executive Director Ron Blake says 4-H views entrepreneurship as a major part of the solution to the challenge of youth unemployment. Under the entrepreneurship training program, young persons who successfully complete the training will be assisted with capital inputs to start their own businesses. To date, more than 540 persons have already been trained, and there are plans to increase the intake. This year, the Jamaica 4-H Clubs also rolled out a $64 million program with the Sugar Transformation Unit, in which 365 youngsters were trained and certified in small engine repairs, tractor operation, and commercial meal preparation. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Last Friday, the Senate commenced debate on the National Identification and Registration Act 2017. The legislation seeks to establish a reliable identification system for Jamaicans. Here are some facts on the proposed National Identification System, NIDS. The government is moving towards implementing a National Identification System, NIDS, that will become the primary source for identity assurance and verification of all Jamaican citizens. The NIDS will establish a reliable and accurate database and provide each individual with a legal identity. Citizens by birth or persons ordinarily resident in Jamaica will be issued a National Identification Number, NIN, and a National Identification Card.
A NIN is from cradle to death. Upon death, it is retired in the system, but it is never used again for anyone else.
To receive this card and facilitate the data collection process, persons will be asked to provide key information. Information required includes your name, date of birth, address, email, and phone number. In addition, your photograph and fingerprint will be taken. The biographic and biometric information are mandatory for the identity verification database. However, it's voluntary for individuals to provide information on their place of employment, profession, family status, education, and religion. So what will not be collected?
DNA will not be collected. Let me just mention quickly that financial information will not be collected either. Political affiliation and sexual orientation is omitted, and it states so in the bill.
The following documents will be required where applicable once enrollment begins in September 2018.
If somebody refuses to sign up for the NIDS, there won't be a penalty in the sense that there is no punitive measures outlined in the bill that is before Parliament.
The National Identification Card will display your name, nationality, place and date of birth, and address. The card will also bear a unique 9-digit number. The numbers will be randomly selected and bear no relation to your date of birth or sex. The 9 digits are in keeping with the same number of digits in the tax registration number TRN, and also to fit into systems that are already configured to accommodate 9 digits.
We wanted to facilitate a situation where there would not be this enormous retrofitting.
The initial ID is free, and if you do lose your ID, there will be a cost to replace it initially.
The National Identification System will give the government an authoritative position to be able to identify its citizens. It will also provide accurate data for national planning, eliminate multiple government-issued IDs, and create a shared data system within ministries, departments, and agencies of government. NIDS will seek to eliminate multiple identities and identity theft, strengthen immigration and border control, and ensure public and national safety. It will also improve the country's international standing and credibility. The benefits to citizens are many. In addition to the one ID, one identity, it will enable better delivery of service by the state and the private sector.
If you look at countries who are progressing and are trying to move into the digital age and give better service to their citizens, you have to, as a criteria, have a way of identifying your citizens. For example, how many people need welfare in this particular parish? How many kids need PATH? Is there duplication among people accessing government benefits? Is there a better way of assessing the people in a particular area in terms of are they accessing enough benefits? So that is the idea. So it's a holistic development of doing business, making it easier to do business, giving you a confirmed identity.
And what of the private sector? A key component is that it will support the Know Your Customer requirements for banks and other businesses.
This is going to enhance that tremendously and allow them to have better, be able to negotiate with their correspondent bankers much better.
As for the benefits to the government of Jamaica, this range from efficiency and cost savings to simplified documentation, streamlining of business processes, and facilitating the public sector modernization process.
The project is a national identification system project, but it's going to have a huge positive impact in the re-engineering of a lot of processes within the government of Jamaica, and as a result, make us far more efficient.
But what are the security measures that will be put in place to protect the national identification system? One is that the information captured will be secured and stored on a national civil and identification database. The experts will take it from here.
We are putting in place fit-for-purpose data, security, and usage policies. We are also putting in place fit-for-purpose, based on international standards, physical security to protect our data center. Our data, let me say our data will be stored in the government of Jamaica data center.
So we are spending a lot of money, there's a lot of infrastructure being put in place, and we are ensuring that all access to data is managed, is audited, and is controlled.
The National Identification and Registration Authority Bill NERA, which is now before the House of Representatives, has also included provision for penalties if breaches or abuse of data do occur.
The bill is very clear, and the bill has a section that focuses on the punitive measures that the government will take, up to $4 million and 4 years in prison if you abuse the data, especially for persons working within the database management organization.
Some things you should note are that
access to your data must be initiated by you.
The agencies cannot go on the system and download. You can't browse my information. If I am, my data is on the system, nobody can go and browse on and see what is there. The police cannot access the data without a court order, and that is in the bill. And external agencies and foreign governments, we cannot just go and access the information.
The Registrar General's Department will be transformed into the new authorized body to administer the National Identification System. The name will be changed to the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, and will fall under the Office of the Prime Minister.
The functions of the RGD, that is the civil registry, will continue within NIRO, and then NIRO also has the responsibility for identity management.
A national rollout of the National Identification System is expected for April 2019.
And we are confident that when the project is implemented, all of our lives will be better and more secure and safer.
As people come onto the system, as the system becomes more trustworthy, as Jamaicans develop more confidence in the system, the policymakers will eventually move to a point where it becomes one ID.
We feel honestly that it's going to be a game changer in a positive way for Jamaica.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
The Jamaica 4-H Clubs has been making a big difference in the lives of young people. Through training, the club is equipping these persons with life skills and entrepreneurial opportunities.
Pumpkin, a very tasty vegetable grown all year. Rich in vitamin A, it helps to sharpen our eyesight and is known to have the antioxidant beta-carotene, which helps to prevent cancer. You can also eat the seed to reduce your cholesterol and boost your mood. The pumpkin's many benefits have set off the creative genes in persons, inspiring them to make just about any and everything from or with it. It was all on display at the Portland 4-H Club's Achievement Day 2016, held at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education in April. The theme was Youth Entrepreneurship, Stimulating Economic Growth and Development. From infant to high schools, the remarkable talent of the 4-H Clubites was everywhere to be seen as they took on the Pumpkin Challenge. How about the soap? Now, where did that come from?
The idea came about when us sat as a committee, and I said we need to make soap, but I wasn't thinking of the bar soap. I was thinking of liquid soap. And then we started to pull ideas together and try and error, and that's how it came about.
Boundbrook Primary, meanwhile, had pumpkin bag juice to wash down the ton pumpkin from Coopers Hill Primary and Infant. Even pumpkin ice cream was there. And if you got a little tired from viewing the booths, that could be remedied with a pumpkin Nutri-Bar, pumpkin seed drops, or pumpkin protein powder, which you would have to mix into a shake. There was no getting away from pumpkin. This toddler made it quite clear. Some 23 schools from the parish participated in the event while vying for the top prizes.
As it relates to our agro-processing, I'm looking forward to being in the top 3 in that event.
The keen eyes of the judges were very busy checking every detail.
When we are judging the agro-processing events, we look for volume, variety, originality, the presentation, the labeling, the packaging materials that are used, and how marketable they are.
Before we get to their judgment, some information now about the 4-H Club's movement. Over the years, it has been engaging the youth by way of training to become more involved in different areas of agricultural production. The 4-H Clubs is also integral to the growth of the school gardening program and the development of young farmers.
The Development Bank of Jamaica, we have just signed off with them. They have committed to put in $5 million per year. Under our school farming initiative, which is a big program for the 4-H clubs, we offer some 107 scholarships, agricultural scholarships annually.
The Portland 4-H Club's Achievement Day 2016 was a success, and many happy troopers walked away with prizes and being crowned champions in their respective age groups and categories, setting a standard that stood out among their peers. The 4-H Clubs making a difference in the lives of Jamaica's youth.
We are preparing persons in a holistic way. So we are not saying academics only, because you do have to apply your academics to come up with these ideas. But we are saying become a wholesome person.
The 4-H Club relevance is greater today, and it is impacting the agricultural sector.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Up next, the Urban Development Corporation rewarding academic achievements and preserving the environment.
It was a time to relax from the pressures of GSAT studies and exams. These 20 students were all successful at the 2017 Grade 6 Achievement Test and have moved on to different high schools across the island. As children of Urban Development Corporation UDC employees, they were treated to a fun day at the corporation's Pearly Beach attraction in St. Anne. The occasion was also used to recognize the hard work of the students, who were awarded grants of $10,000 each towards their education. The youngsters were very appreciative and already anticipating greater achievements.
I'm going to continue being confident in my work and strive for the best that I can do.
I'm looking forward to go on the leaderboard at my school. I am really thankful for the opportunity to have fun before I go back to school.
As added motivation, UDC General Manager Dr. Damien Graham encouraged the students to be bold in the pursuit of their dreams, despite the struggles they are likely to encounter throughout their lives.
You will go through difficulty. You will go through struggles, but you have to be patient to allow yourself to endure those struggles. What you're being asked to do in taking on your next step is to prepare yourself to give more and to come back and pay it forward.
And Dr. Graham called on the parents to instill confidence in their children.
One of the most amazing things you can do for your children is to inspire them with confidence every day.
The UDC's annual GSET Awards started in 2007. After the formalities, the children, along with their parents, were treated to an afternoon of fun. Pearly Beach is perfect for corporate events, weddings, parties, and special occasions, and is available by reservation to create your own unique experience. Interested persons may call the St. Anne Development Company at 974-5015. And speaking of beaches, the UDC participated in the global observance of International Coastal Cleanup Day on September 16. A committed steward of the environment, the corporation spearheaded the cleanup of the Helsha Bay Beach in St. Catherine.
Helsha is very special to the UDC family. As you know, we operate Fort Clarence Beach, and indeed UDC has responsibility for the larger Helsha area. Right now we're working on some projects to look at how we address beaches and public beaches across the island.
I picked up maybe about 10 pounds of garbage, both recyclable and non-recyclable garbage. In our compelling story at the UDC, we talk about making development happen in a way that we have ecological, sustainable attractions. For me, the entire Jamaica is an attraction. And so people have to take more pride and care in the environment, ensuring that the way they dispose of garbage is responsible, because we need a sustainable environment.
With over 1,300 volunteers, including partners on board, close to 10,000 pounds of garbage were collected from the area. The cleanup exercise reinforced the importance of proper garbage disposal and the need to keep the environment clean.
When they come here, when they go back to school, you will not see the classrooms looking untidy. They will ensure that all their solid waste is in the bins.
Keep our environment clean!
No dirty up Jamaica.
The Urban Development Corporation, protecting the environment and awarding academic excellence. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 656-8031 or visit their website at www.udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
It's time to wrap up the show, but before I go, here's a thought from Indian philosopher Swami Sivananda. Put your heart, mind, and soul into even your smallest acts. This is the secret of success. Go ahead, pursue that dream you've been thinking about. Another Jamaica magazine comes your way tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And keep sending your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.